Greetings viewers and welcome to today's info sharing session. We'll be discussing the role of templates within a Sage 200 Evolution database. Templates can be used in a variety of different areas within an Evolution database, and today we'll be focusing on the purchasing of goods and selling of items by using templates. Now, templates can be used very effectively, specifically if you are purchasing items from a supplier at regular intervals, and those items are the same when the purchase is being made. The same will apply to if you're selling goods to a customer at regular intervals and selling the same goods to the customer regularly. Let's begin with the purchasing of goods from suppliers by using templates. I'm firstly going to go to my order entry, transactions, and purchase order. Now, purchase order templates can be based on two scenarios. They could be a supplier-specific template or perhaps a template which is applicable to a multitude of suppliers. Let's begin with scenario number one, which is a supplier-specific purchase order template. So I'm going to go into my purchase order screen, specify my supplier, and now I'm going to move on to line items and specify the items that are going to be purchased from that supplier. And now it's really a case of just specifying the items that you're going to be purchasing at regular intervals from that supplier. Right, so I've got my three items and my supply information, and now I'm going to go to File, and you'll see we have a Save as Template option. So I'm going to use the Save as Template, and I now have a template number, which I'm going to be using when processing purchase orders and using templates. So I'm going to say OK to that, and my template has now been created. At this point, I'm going to be ordering those items from a supplier. So I'm going to go back to my purchase order screen and use the open feature. And under status, you'll see we've got a template option. So I can say template, and then I can use some other criteria, for example, the supplier, certain references, etc., when doing the search. So I'm going to use today's date and say template and find. And there's my template. If I highlight the option, you'll see that I've got the option that says Load as Template. I'm going to use Load as Template. And there we have it. I've got my supply information there and my items that I'm going to be ordering from the template screen. So no need for me now to go and recapture those lines. I can simply load the template and process the transaction. So I've got my details here. At this particular point, I'm also able to maybe change or make modifications to the line items. So for example, I may want to increase the quantity of that item, like that. Or I may even would like to perhaps at this point add an additional item that I'm intending to include on the order. And if need be, I can also remove certain items from the purchase order. Right, so there we have it. I've gone to go search for my template, loaded the template option, and now I can simply say place the order, and the process will then continue and close. Right, that's our first scenario where we're actually creating a template which is supplier specific. Our second scenario is creating a template which is non-supplier specific. So the scenario is that perhaps you're ordering a group of items or a range of items, but there could be a fact that you're ordering them from different suppliers at different times. So I'm once again going to create a template, but not specify a supplier. So once again, I'm going to specify the items. Right, so I'm going to go File and say Save as Template. Notice in this instance, I haven't specified a particular supplier for the template. So I'm going to say Save as Template. I've got my template number. Right. At the time of ordering, I'm going to go back into Purchase Order. Open. And use a template search option. And there we have our second template. And say Load as Template. Right, so I've got my details there. And now at this point, I can specify the supplier who I'm going to be ordering from. There we go. And once again, I can, if need be, simply go and increase the quantity or make changes to the line items if necessary. And I can use place order. Print the document if needed, and the purchasing cycle will then commence. So in our scenario, we've got two situations there whereby you can have a template which is supplier specific or a non-specific supplier template. Right, that's on the purchasing side. Let's move over onto the sales order side. So once again, same scenario. I'm going to go into my order entry transaction sales order and specify a customer. And the scenario here is that you, for example, have a standing order with your customer that they're going to be ordering these items on a regular basis. And once again, you're going to simply go create that order or that order template, which is going to make it much easier to process when the customer orders items from you. Right, so this is my supplier or customer specific order. So I'm going to go to File, Save as Template. And close. I'm going to go to my sales order, open, and I'm going to use the state or the template status to search for it. There we go. Highlight it, load as template. There have my details, and once again I can just say place the order. Right, and then our second scenario is going to be a sales order which is non-customer specific, so not specifying a customer. I'm going to go into my details there. Right, so now at this point I can say File, Save as Template. Now I've got my template number. And if I go back into sales order, I'm going to go and use the open feature. I'm going to go find that sales order template, find, load as template. There are my details, and at this point I'm going to specify the customer. There we go. And I can simply say place order. Right, so those are the two scenarios for sales orders and purchase orders. And if we just go back to our order entry, I'm going to go to Maintenance, Order Defaults. And you'll see under Templates, there's a tab. We are able to specify our prefixes or our numbering sequences for sales order and purchase order templates. specifying a prefix and also a number of characters to be used in the numbering of those templates. So as you can see, template processing really a very easy and efficient way if you are ordering items or selling items to customers at regular intervals and the same items are being sold at those regular intervals. That's a wrap from me. Thank you so much for watching. It's over and out and goodbye.